Coming up on 6:49, time for the morning rush. We are now hearing from the girlfriend of the man accused of killing the mother of two state police officers while she was warming up her car. Carla Aguirre testified that Luis Talamates Romero told her that he shot Jacqueline Vigil with a pistol from behind her car. Aguirre also spoke about how they drove to Texas to destroy the murder weapon.
Two former players are now suing New Mexico State University's basketball program. William Deuce Benjamin and Shaq Odunewu claim three of their teammates hazed and sexually assaulted them. The lawsuit names former New Mexico men's basketball coach Greg Heyer, associate head coach Dominique Taylor, and players Dr. Bradley, Kim Aiken Jr., and Deshandre Washington. The case has been turned over to the AG's office.
A teen accused of bringing guns and ammo to school will be staying in jail until trial. 18-year-old Michael Ramirez allegedly brought two handguns and more than 30 rounds of ammunition that was to La Academia de Esperanza charter school last Thursday. In court yesterday, the state told the judge that one of the guns was tied to three drive-by shootings, including one at Sandia High School in November. Erica.
And here's a look at our school day forecast. It is a chilly start out there. Be sure to grab your warmer layers this morning. By the afternoon, we're going to be staying cooler and windy.
The family of a homeowner shot and killed by Farmington police when they showed up to the wrong house says they will be suing. The family's attorney said they plan to sue for damages. They're also calling on the police chief to resign and for the officers involved to be charged with second-degree murder.
Santa Fe County Jail is hoping that some new technology will be able to better help with inmates' health. This comes as a dozen inmates at the jail have died in the last 3 years. Inmates with health problems will wear a device that is similar to an Apple Watch that will alert corrections officers if there's an emergency.
An attorney representing families of children who have been subject to abuse and neglect is suing the state so he can speak about what he calls ongoing abuse and neglect within CYFD. A federal lawsuit alleges attorney Harold Atencio is aware of possible corruption within CYFD. But if Atencio were to publicize the alleged misconduct under New Mexico state law, he could be subject to prosecution. Erica.
And here's a look at our threat index. It is moderate today. We'll stay very windy in northern New Mexico with a high fire danger.
A big financial boost could be coming soon to New Mexico. It's thanks to one of the largest clean energy projects here in the U.S. The Sunzia Wind and Transmission Project is set to bring about $20 billion to the state when the projected project is completed. That project will construct a 550-mile-long transmission line and wind farm and will help provide 3 million people with power.
Yesterday, Justice Samuel Alito extended a temporary pause which keeps the abortion pill mifepristone available nationwide for at least 2 more days. Yesterday, the country's only manufacturer of a generic mifepristone filed a lawsuit against the FDA in an effort to keep the medication on the market.
A Pentagon official revealed yesterday that the U.S. government is investigating more than 600 potential UFO sightings. The head of the Pentagon office investigating UFOs told a Senate subcommittee that the sightings are concentrated off the east and west coast of the U.S., in the Middle East, and in the South China Sea. Well, the Pentagon says that there's no credible evidence that any of the still unidentified objects came from outer space. Erica.
Let's get a check on traffic. Maps are clear, no accidents or major slowdowns. Tracker heading south on I-25 near MLK Ave, and everything's moving at speed.
Well, it's not every day a bobcat meets a car head-on and survives in the grill of the car. Video from Portage County Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin shows officers pulling the animal from someone's car. They were able to quickly move it to the back of their truck before making it back to where it was hit. They determined it was okay and released it back into the wild.
Time now for the 5 facts.
At number 5, a zoo in Clovis is asking the public to help name 2 of its newest residents. Well, these 2 kangaroos, they've been at the Hillcrest Park Zoo now for about 6 weeks, and they were brought in from Texas. The female kangaroo is about 10 months old. The male is about 9 months old. Officials say that as they get older, their personalities are starting to show. Now through April the 28th, people can bid on the names on the city's website, and all the proceeds will benefit the zoo.
At number 4, the city hopes that new speed cameras that are now live on busy stretches of road in Albuquerque will help improve safety in those areas. The new cameras, one at Avenida Cesar Chavez and Walter and the other on 98th between Tower and Central, went live in the last couple of weeks.
At number 3, it's going to be a cooler and windy afternoon. We are going to see those gusts up to 35 in the metro.
At number 2, an attorney representing families of children who have been subject to abuse and neglect is suing the state so he can speak about what he calls ongoing abuse and neglect within CYFD. A federal lawsuit alleges attorney Harold Atencio is aware of possible corruption within CYFD. But if he were to publicize the alleged misconduct under New Mexico state law, he could be subject to prosecution, as it's a crime to disclose any information relating to abuse and neglect proceedings.
And at number one, we are now hearing from the friends of Luis Talamantes Romero, the man accused of killing the mother of 2 state police officers while she was warming up her car. Talamantes Romero's former girlfriend, Carla Aguirre, testified in court that he told her that he shot Vigil with a pistol from behind her car and didn't know why he shot her. Aguirre also spoke about how she, Talamantes Romero, and his sister drove to Texas after the murder and destroyed the murder weapon. That trial will resume this morning.